So up until this point, we've been taking the periodic chart and we've just been looking at the number and saying that that's the mass of 1 mole of nitrogen, or we've been saying that's the mass of 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of nitrogen. We're going to expand that idea and make it larger. So we're going to build a compound or a molecule. Now this is actually chapter 6.1, but we are doing it within the context of chapter 2. This can be taught in different ways and it fits better here, we feel like. What is a chemical formula? It's a representation of atoms bonded together. So if there's nothing here and here, it's an understood 1, and it just means that there's 1 sodium and that there's 1 chlorine. In this case, the little 2 means that there are 2 hydrogens, it means that there's 1 sulfur because there's nothing right there, it's understood 1, and that there's 4 oxygens. This means that there are 3 potassiums, again understood 1 phosphorus, and 4 oxygens. That's how those little numbers work. Now, how do we deal with the parentheses? So parentheses, it kind of works like it works with everything else. So it's talking about this whole quantity of NO3. So if you take that whole quantity, and if there are 2 of them, you see there's 2. I have a total of 2 N's and a total of 6 O's. So this is 1 nitrogen, 1 nickel, 1 nitrogen, but there's a 2 here, so that makes it 2, and then we have 6 oxygens. So when you have parentheses, and only with parentheses, you multiply the 2 times each of those numbers. And then we have some other normal ones. We'll have more parentheses coming up to practice with. So we have some words. All of them have the word mass in them, mass, mass, and mass. So molecular mass is the mass of 1 molecule in AMUs. And that's not super helpful because most of the time in chemistry we aren't dealing with just 1 molecule. The formula mass is the mass of 1 compound in AMUs. You're probably thinking, what's the difference in a molecule and a compound? It has to do with the bonding, and that is in the upcoming chapter. But basically, if you've got something that's positive with something that's some kind of negative, could be positive 1, positive 2, and negative 1, negative 2, any of those, it's going to be a formula mass. Don't let that throw you for too long. What we're really looking at is the molar mass. So this is the mass of 1 mole of a molecule or of a compound in grams per mole. This is what we use most of the time. So most of the time you'll see us talking about molar mass. If you see this word or the other words, that's okay too. Just saying. Most of the time we use molar mass. Blah. All right, so there are 4 species in bold below. Compare the atoms to the periodic chart. Determine where the final number here comes from.